here at PMI in Hickson. We're going to see what the Dakota's going to make. That's all we got so far. 254 horse, 302 foot-pounds. 2 degrees of timing. This was 26 degrees the red line, 28 the blue. It picked up, so we put 2 more degrees of timing all the way across it and leaned it out a little more. We're going to be about 12.5 AFR. And we'll see what that does. We'll just chase timing until it stops making power. I really think the kegger is going to hold it back. Looks like that's about all we got. 260 and 309. Now the difference between these two lines is from 30 degrees to 32 degrees. It didn't care, so I'm dropping it back down to 30 degrees. This one spike or this one spot in torque where it liked the timing, I'm going to leave that in. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a 3rd gear pull. These have been 2nd gear pulls, so we can get it tuned in quicker. We'll see what it does, and it's probably about all it's going to do. And then this is still a slightly modified kegger, but not really ported, not a whole lot done. And we're starting to gain map on the top end. It's starting to pull vacuum, so it really needs a larger throttle body. So we'll see what it does, and I guess my next project's going to be taking the kegger and porting it as far as it'll go. This is just the difference in a 2nd gear run to a 3rd gear run. Went from 260 to 270. Picked up everywhere, and torque went from 309 to 317. So now we're going to do what everyone else does on their glory pass. We're going to cool the hell out of the intake and make a quick pull and see what it picks up. Because right now intake air temp's 170 degrees. Ignore this one little glitch right here, but the difference from 167 intake air temp to 120, and as the pull went, it got cooler and cooler down to 112. We picked up 13 horsepower and let's see, about 20 foot-pounds of torque. Just picked up everywhere. Well, that's a wrap on the dyno day. Next video will be modifying the kegger, the other one with the volume reducing plates and everything else. And we'll see what it does on the dyno another day again. I apologize for the fuzziness of the dyno graphs. I'll do a little better next time. But just wanted to share something else. I've got an old dyno sheet from a full-size ram I had that we shaved the crap out of the block, stuck pistons out of the hole a little bit, shaved the heads, got it to about 10.5, did a decent valve job and just a very minor bowl blend. And that was it. That's all that thing had. Stock cam, stock everything. And it made pretty much the same power. Now the Dakota's making a little more, but it's got about the same compression as my ram did back in the day, but it's got way more camshaft. It's got 1.7 rockers too. I really think the kegger is just holding it back that bad because it's such a drastic change in camshaft and everything else. It's really just camshaft, but it made the same power. You guys can see this, 253 horsepower. Now I do say I only rev the ram to 5,000 RPMs, and the Dakota revs clean out the 6. It doesn't fall off. Torque's falling off on the Dakota, but horsepower stays up all the way to 6 grand. And this thing wasn't tuned at all. This was factory tuning. That's before I even started getting into tuning. This was probably, I'm 29. I did this when I was 17 or 18, I think. It was a very long time ago. But I think it's 299 foot-pounds, 253 horsepower. So it's so close to the same. So I really think the manifold's going to be where it's at. Now everyone knows that. The Hughes intakes right now are back ordered, and they're really expensive anyway. So I'm going to modify the crap out of a kegger and see. I'm not going to do anything crazy, just what anyone can do in their garage with a grinder and some bits. And I'm going to use the volume reducing plates, and we'll see what that gets you. See if it's worth, if you don't want to spend $600 for the Hughes air gap, see how far you can take the kegger, if it's worth even spending any time on it. So hopefully we get a decent gain, and if we get not much gain at all, then it's probably not worth messing with. Just get the air gap. Now the air gap's back ordered, so the next test after I do the kegger mod, I think I'm going to get probably the Speedmaster. It's just a copy of it. I may even get the Edelbrock one, and all I got to do is weld injector bunks in. It doesn't have the bolt down for the fuel rail, but for not having to wait on it and it being cheaper, it doesn't really bother me. Now if they get their air gap in and it's not back ordered, because it's one thing I hate is spending money and then you gotta wait months to get something. That sucks. I'll spend more money if I can get it tomorrow. Be much happier. But I can't spend $600 and wait for who knows how long to get an intake manifold. When I can get that cheap, I can get the Speedmaster is $260, I think, and I can weld in injector bunks, and it's probably not gonna be. I mean, it's a knockoff of the air gap. It's just a dual plane. I can't see it being that much difference power-wise, especially when I can port the manifold. But I think that's a cheap alternative. Not everyone has a welder, but if it's not that hard to get the injector bunks in there and it makes power, then you can take this manifold, have injector bunks welded into it, figure out how to hold down the fuel rails. You're saving $400, well, $300, and not having to wait. I don't know if that's worth it for anybody else, but I got a welder. I'm not scared. So that's going to be the next test after the kegger mod, and we'll see how far we can go. I really hope it makes it at least a 300 with an intake. We knew it was going to be down with the kegger, with the stock one. I didn't expect it to be that far down though. I was hoping to hit 300, but not so much. So we'll try again. If that doesn't work, we'll try again. Thank you for watching.